So why is the neck involved? Well, when you think about from a biomechanics perspective, when an injury occurs, concussion happens between 60 and 120 G's of acceleration. So if you talk linear acceleration, G's is gravity, so 9.8 meters per second squared, right? Everyone sitting right here, I'm undergoing 1 G right now. If you get hit with 30 G's, which is about 70% of all the impacts that happen in football, you still haven't hit concussion threshold. It's less than 1% of the impacts that happen in football that cause concussion injuries. Concussion happens at 70 to 120 G's. Now, I've said this before, so to put this in perspective, if you're in a car accident where your airbags go off, your airbags are set to deploy at a change of velocity of 50 kilometers an hour or 30 miles per hour if you're in the US. So that's where your airbags are going to go off. So if you're driving down the street at 30 miles an hour and you ram a telephone pole, your airbags will deploy. That translates into 60 G's through the seatbelt. So you're talking about a tremendous amount of force needed to cause concussion injury, 70 to 120 G's across most studies. Whiplash or strain injury of the neck only requires 4.5 G's. So if you're going to take 70 to 120 G's to your head, you're taking at least 4.5 G's to your neck. So there's always going to be some level of neck injury or whiplash every time you have a concussion injury. So the two injuries are happening together. Every time you get a concussion, you're getting a whiplash, but not every whiplash causes concussion, because whiplash can happen at a lower threshold than concussion. So you may get a whiplash without the concussion, but you can never get the concussion without the whiplash. Hopefully that sinks in. Then actually there was a study done by Lori-Ann Hines in 2006 looking at hockey players in Canada, and they found that every single player that had a mechanism of injury that looked like a whiplash, meaning they were hit in the body and their heads whipped back and forth, or they were hit directly in the head and had a concussion-like mechanism, they found that 100% of the groups demonstrated signs and symptoms of both conditions. So these injuries are happening together. And the difficult thing is the symptoms of each of these conditions are the exact same. Concussion and whiplash are literally identical in their symptom presentation. Whiplash injury can present with neck pain, headaches, dizziness, visual disturbances, balance impairments, cognitive disturbances. And I'm thinking, cognitive disturbances in somebody with a neck injury? Yes. So in my research thesis, when I did my sports medicine fellowship, I did it partnered with the University of Buffalo, and we looked at patients that were coming in with chronic concussion symptoms, so between 1 month and 1 year after injury. And then we compared them to people coming in with chronic whiplash, 1 month to 1 year after injury. And we gave them symptom scales to fill out for both concussion and whiplash. And we could not tell the difference between the two groups. Concussion and whiplash had the exact same symptom profile. They all had headaches, dizziness, nauseousness, fogginess, blurred vision, concentration difficulties, etc. You name it, the symptoms were literally identical. So every concussion is going to have an element of whiplash or neck injury. And if you're not looking at that neck injury, your symptoms could potentially last for longer and longer.